there's nothing else that could be called a consensus price. Like what could you, I mean, you don't, Coinbase's
Right.
database, like Binance's database, there's never been any such thing as a consensus Bitcoin price.
Right.
I don't know that, like I said, like, it's a little bit overhype at this point. But if there is something that will ever be a consensus price, I can't imagine anything that will be better than this. So in terms of what it changes, I don't know like the specific use case application of it right now. I'm sure there's a million of them, but I think it's more of just something that has a potential to change the ground level of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do
I
you
mean,
think?
I just right off the top of my head, from coming from the trust and estate management world,
Mm-hmm.
where when somebody passes away, you've got to figure out the value of their assets at the date of death.
Right.
And when you start to look at that with Bitcoin, you start to look across all these different exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
You've got all sorts of different pricing.
Yeah.
And there's lots of questions as to what is the real price. And if somebody's got a big bag, it could be a significant difference between one exchange and another. Which
Yeah.
so this
Right.
this is sort of a consensus, like you said, the consensus price would be an honest way, the most honest way to come to like what was the global price on that given day.
Right. I think it is the most honest way. I mean, I'm not going to say that Bitcoin, that UTXOracle is, foolproof. Every day I'm thinking of ways to make this more robust against, someone trying to attack it or intentionally skew the price. Right now, with everything's working perfectly and everyone is just honest actors, yes, I think this is absolutely the default, should be the default consensus price. There is, if someone were to buy up all the block space in a day, there wouldn't be a price that day. And so it does have a cost, right? So there is a
Mm-hmm.
cost, there is a price you can pay to remove all US price information from the chain. So that's a downside to it. Um, so in terms of like official financial records from the government or something like that, we'd have to figure out how to protect against that. But for maybe a smaller use case, just using this as a contract settlement,
Mm-hmm.
for some kind of options trading or something that needs an oracle,
Yeah.
then the cost, at least we know the cost to game it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
uh,
And then you
yeah.
could create, right. The options one is another one that
Yeah.
I was thinking about in terms of, especially like when you have a settlement date off into the future and you could
Mhm.
agree upon price to execute the option.
Yeah.
And, an exchange is more easily manipulated than this, right?
Yeah, right. That's the question when people talk about, this is you can game this, and I get like a little bit defensive and I'm like, "No, but it's so cool." I'm like, "Yeah, but I mean, you can game everything." So,
Yeah.
at least, and maybe this is a little cheaper to game than Coinbase, but we don't know. We know how much it costs to game this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. And this thing is running in real time, and you can do
Mhm.
future. I mean, not future. You can do past dates. Do you see? Is there potentially a way that this could correlate to people trading peer to peer?
Yes, absolutely. So, one thing that UTX Oracle has that exchange prices don't, and to be honest, most of the things UTX Oracle gets are downstream of exchange prices, because when people
Hmm.
are sending that $100 to their friend, chances are they're looking up what the price is, or their wallet just automatically looks up the price from some API from some exchange, and then once they use that price to make that transaction, then UTX Oracle discovers what price they used. So for the most part, UTX Oracle prices are like an aggregation of all of the different ways, all of the different exchange prices. It's kind of a natural average of all of them. But in another way, UTX Oracle has information they don't have, because if instead of using your wallet app, if you and your friend just use the calculator app on your phone and you just decided what $100 was in Bitcoin based on an exchange price or a price that you negotiated, as long as it's close to what the exchange price is used, then that data point has price information that the exchange never sees. It never appears on an order book. So in that sense, UTXOracle does have like fresh P2P price information that doesn't appear anywhere else. It's probably not a lot, but yeah, it definitely has some new information.
Yeah, that is interesting too when you start thinking about sovereign use of,
Right.
meaning like if you have like Saudi Arabia and China doing oil deals in Bitcoin down the road, they're probably not going to do that on an exchange, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, it's going to be peer-to-peer. And they're probably, of course, they're going to use their best averages of the exchange prices when they make that deal. And then guess what? UTXOracle gets all that work they put into finding those averages,
Right. But think about like that can be done in gold today. You could do a peer-to-peer transaction in gold for oil, and nobody gets a record of that price.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it with still the caveat's got to be a round amount of US dollars. But yeah, maybe there's something similar for gold. Maybe there's like a perfect 1 ounce of gold line. Find the 1 ounce of gold trace in the heat map.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That'd be very cool. Crazy.
So you've heard Bitcoin is the new gold rush by now. As world leaders on all sides have endorsed it as the future of money, and now you're looking to get started, we'll show you how. It's actually easier than you think. First, go to your nearest Byte Federal ATM and turn your cash to coin. Byte Federal has over 1,200 locations around the country with the highest daily limits. Go to our website, bytefederal.com, to find the nearest ATM to you. Log in to any wallet, then create an account, deposit your US cash, and instantly convert it to Bitcoin. That's it. We are the only US manufacturer and operator in the Bitcoin ATM industry, and our US-based live customer service is second to none. Go on, give it a whirl, and don't get left behind. Click the link below.